there's so many people online now that are in this big community that will help you and will give you advice and, cheer each other on.
Welcome back to Season 4 of Earned Influence, and I am joined today by Jade Price and Patty Ruggia. Patty is a senior talent acquisition partner with AutoCanada with almost 2 decades worth of industry experience with 2 of the largest automotive groups in Canada. I'm also joined by Jade Price, a technician from the UK with a very unique set of experiences over the last 5 or so years. I can't wait to hear the questions that we have and answers that we have for today's episode, because Jade's going to ask a question here in a minute. So folks, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode of Earned Influence on the Wrench Turners podcast. Jade, Patty, thank you very much for joining us on the show today. Jade, I'm looking forward to your question. What do you have for us today?
So I would like to know, Patty, Josh, anyone that's watching, from the moment you stepped into the automotive industry with maybe little knowledge or a lot of knowledge, what's been the most positive change you've seen from then to now, whether it be technology, staff? What's been your most positive moment that you can think of that made you glad that you become in the automotive industry?
Ooh, kind of a life-changing positive moment. I like this.
And
Patty, you got to answer this first. I'm life-changing positive moment.
Excited to answer. So again, back in 2012, when I first started with a group, the group itself was growing. And then I went to another group who was pretty large. And now I'm with the group that I'm with now, AutoCanada. And one of the things that I've noticed is while there are still mom and pop shops, so maybe a dealer family that owns 2 or 3 shops, but then there's these bigger groups. And again, it isn't that the mom and pop or smaller dealer families aren't doing a great job. They are, because they're able to be collective and have that family atmosphere. But a company like AutoCanada, we have store support. So one of the things, as groups get bigger, you have a whole team of people behind the scenes supporting those stores. For instance, I've mentioned before, when you drive by a dealership or a layperson drives by a dealership, they see service and sales. Obviously, there's cars going into the garage, there's people walking into the front door. But most people, including myself in 2011 before I started, I had no idea the dynamics and the human work that goes into supporting the service and sales initiative in a dealership. So whether it's strictly sales or strictly service, there is a whole team of people with our company and other bigger groups that are, whether it's IT, internet safety, marketing, there's a whole team of people supporting the dealership's initiative. So that's the first thing that stands out to me. And the second thing from a fixed operations standpoint, because I have such a heart for fixed operations, is that 15, 20 years ago, you had Centennial College in the Toronto area and some of the other colleges. And these people would go to school and the employers, maybe a smaller shop or maybe not, would say, oh, just come and work for us. You don't need to go to school. I've noticed a group like ours and some of the other bigger groups are like, no, let them stay and complete their academics, and with a respect for that academic component with motive power programs, regardless of the college. So there's community colleges all across Canada that offer motive power and motorcycle courses. And I like the fact that the bigger groups and even some of the smaller shops are committed to that academia, because there's a lot of great stuff going on in our motive power program. So that's what I have seen over the last 15 years.
Interesting.
I love that.
Positive change in the fact that we've got 2 things. One, the growing number of groups where we have a larger aggregate revenue stream, because we have 2, 3, 4, 30, 50, 100, however many stores are in a group. But that aggregate revenue now becomes a benefit to all the stores in that aggregate revenue because of the support systems that you can then put into place. So like having independent HR teams, instead of having one person trying to do AR, AP, and HR all at the same time at a store. I I'm sure that there are a lot of people watching right now that have worked in or are still working in shops that are single points, where you've got one single person who's trying to juggle all of the accounting things, because that's almost always what they are. Not exclusively, but like 9 out of 10 times, you've got the ARAP person also trying to do HR, which they're probably not actually schooled in either. To be honest, in my experience, they're almost never an accountant trained individual, and they're almost never an HR trained individual, and they're trying to do all three roles. They're trying to juggle those things. Having the ability to have revenues come in from multiple multiple rooftops to go into somebody who is a dedicated trained HR person, that's a big benefit. The secondary part of that is they're now looking at the investment of aspiring technicians, what they are giving to themselves through academia in school, say, get them to finish their training. So when they come to the shop, we are supporting them to finish their school, but come to the shop after you finish the school. That way, when you get here, we can then teach you the on-the-job stuff. Focus on the theoretical learning, and that way we come to the shop and learn the on-the-job stuff that you can only learn one-on-one with a shop foreman or what have you. Interesting take on that. I bet you that there's going to be quite a few people that have something to say, and I want you to all say it. Make sure you drop a comment in the video below. I want to hear all of your comments about whether you think this is a good thing or this is not a good thing. Because I know you have something to say about this very thing, because we've had chats about this, ladies and gentlemen. So please make a comment. Now, Jade, your own question here. For you, what's your biggest positive change from the time you start to now?
I think there's two things that really stand out to me. One, it's going to be the influx of females in the trade and the men that are behind it as well. Because one of the things that I've always wanted to change is that not every man is the same in the automotive industry. A lot of them are really welcoming. And so I wanted to break that bias. So the men that are supporting this, I love that, because it's so nice to see some more girls in the trade. My second thing, do you know what? It's probably going to sound really strange, but the way social media has really boasted around the automotive industry and the support that you can get from different garages, different mechanics, MOT testers, just everywhere. There's this community online that, you wouldn't be able to go into the shop next door and be like, can you have a quick help with it? Because more often than not, they're going to go, no, why am I going to tell you that when we could just do the work? But there's so many people online now that are in this big community that will help you and will give you advice and, cheer each other on. So I think that's really stood out for me, is the actual support that people don't realise is online for the automotive industry for all areas. So
that's awesome. I didn't think of it that way, because for the most part, to be honest, trying to be positive, at the same time, I'm still trying to, my negative bias will show itself. I so often see the negative, right? So often we get all of the negative comments about the industry, the negative comments about being flat rate, the negative comments about just being a mechanic through and through. But if you start really looking for it, and this is where, myself, I have negative bias for most of my life. And one of the caveat reasons to starting a show in the first place is I want to meet more people. I want to learn to be better. I want to learn to be more positive. I want to learn and grow and develop myself more than anything. You guys think this show is for you? This is for me. This is gravy. I get to have these conversations with these awesome people and learn and grow myself. You guys are just a byproduct and gravy on top, right? So this culture and learning that in 2026, there is so much content being put online, specifically about automotive industry. There's motorcycle, you have HD, you have mobile. And once you start spreading your wings and understanding that there's more out there, and you start looking for the positives in each part of it, being a mechanic doesn't matter what industry in, not just automotive, but in every industry. There are all kinds of, to Jade's point, there's a lot more women in the trade now. We're seeing a lot more, especially in social media, because we're starting to see the confidence of people willing to show and be like Jade and wanted to publish content saying, hey, we're here, we're capable, we're doing our best, we're learning, we're developing, we're growing as mechanics. That's awesome to see. And you start looking for the positive. And I put to all of you out there, Jade's asked a question about what's the biggest positive change in the industry that you have you felt or has happened to you or subsequently speaking, start looking for the positive. Like the question itself is asking you guys to look for the positive. I say that is the thing that's the important part. Start looking for the positive. Stop looking for the negative things like, oh, this sucks, or this is flat rate, or the warranty pay sucks, or whatever the case may be. Stop looking for that. Stop looking at that. Stop commenting on it. It's like a lot of, you can talk about racism. You can talk about all kinds of different other things. Start looking for the positive things. Like you have a team of people around you in the shop right now, or maybe you're out in the road and you're a mobile technician. You have a group of people around you that you're all trying to do the same goal. You're trying to fix things that are broken. Well, fundamentally, if the mindset is negative, that's broken. So you need to start fixing up here, right? We go out and fix excavators and we fix motorcycles and we fix broken airplanes. Those are broken things. If you're thinking about negative all the time, that's a broken thing that you need to fix here. And you want to talk about what's the biggest positive change that you can make in your life as a mechanic, as a shop foreman, as a service manager? Mindset. That's the biggest thing that you can change. And it's going to affect everybody in your immediate vicinity. It's going to dramatically affect everybody in your immediate vicinity if you change your mindset to a more positive mindset. So I heard a statistic, actually my wife telling me this very thing, is you can dramatically change your life in 7 days by simply going from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. And apparently it was a Psychologist of America article or something that came across a feed. So go do your due diligence. The date, it might not be 7 days. It might be like 7 months. I don't know what that number is, but it doesn't matter. Talking from going from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. What would you say is there anything more elevating, any more life-changing than changing mindset in terms of looking at the industry from a positive way? Do you think either one of you think there's anything more changing?
Change your mindset, you change your life. Like, for me, the best way to describe it is you look outside of a night, you see the stars, yeah? You cannot see them stars without the darkness behind them. So them stars are the things that give you that light in the dark. So you change this, you change everything.
Wow.
That's profound.
I've never heard it described like that. That is very profound. That's a nugget. That is an absolute nugget right there.
It's so true.
On that note, on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoyed today's question from Jade. I really hope that you like, comment, and subscribe to the show. Make sure you share this episode, share these episodes, share this series with somebody that you think needs to hear these messages, hear these questions, and let them ruminate on the answers that we provide. And folks, as always, negative pushes, positive pulls. Always clean your toys before you put them away.
Thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe, and tune in for the next episode.